Gano. My name is Cheryl Green. I am the project manager for Endaayaang, one of the Housing First youth projects. And today I will be talking about our Indigenous case management model that we utilize with our participants. Endaayaang is an Ojibwe word meaning a safe place where your heart or spirit feels at home, which is, unfortunately, something that a lot of our youth are missing within their lives. We follow the Housing First for Youth framework, but we have adopted it to meet the needs of Indigenous youth. We wanted to create a model that focuses on culture, empowerment, resiliency, and nurturing and fostering the spirit of our young people. This is to be able to help our young people recognize their gifts, really get connected to community, and really feel good about themselves, that they have a future. When we were looking at the model to create, one of the things that I felt was really important was looking at the 7 grandfather teachings as a way of living our lives in a good way. My colleague Shannon Murphy was really wanting to bring in the idea of the circle of courage and around our spirit of belonging. And within Indigenous culture, the medicine wheel is prevalent in everything that we do. And what we did is we gathered our ideas and connected with Kim Kakakaway of Home Fire at the Boys and Girls Club of Calgary. And she was able to put all of these together, align them to the Housing First for Youth core principles, as well as the outcomes that we're trying to achieve, and created our model. So what we have done is aligned the Housing First for Youth core principles to the circle of courage and incorporated the 7 grandfather teachings and the medicine wheel all together to be able to achieve outcomes for young people and to help them be successful. So this is the wheel here. And so what we have done is aligned Housing First for Youth core principles, right to housing, youth voice and choice, to belonging. And then we included, so I'm just going to turn it, individualized supports, to mastery, positive youth development with independence, as well as social inclusion and community integration with generosity. And then outside of the circle of courage, we have wisdom, truth, bravery, honesty, love, respect, and humility. Outside of the 7 grandfather teachings, we have the wheel surrounded by community and the outcomes of the Housing First for Youth framework. So we have complementary supports, social inclusion, education and employment, health and well-being, and housing stability. And in order to achieve all of those outcomes, it's important that we allow the youth the opportunity to be connected to community. And community is their peers, services, supports, their family, going to in cultural events. And so in order for our youth to be successful, we have surrounded the entire wheel with community. And so when we want to be able to utilize the wheel, we're sitting down with our youth and talking about a situation and how does that fit on the wheel. So, one of the things that we'd be looking at, is it, part of their physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual well-being? how do the decisions that they make impact that? So we would look at those areas. We would look at the areas of the Circle of Courage, which is a model of positive youth development, right? It's based on 4 growth needs: belonging, mastery, independence, and generosity, right? So, you know, the things that the youth are doing, or the challenges that they're experiencing, or the life lessons that they're going through, you know, we use this wheel in order to be able to bring those things to the forefront and support them with their decision making. So one of the examples that we have used the wheel was one of our young people living in a congregate living environment was smoking in their room. So the youth was, you know, not forthcoming and saying that they weren't doing this. So, you know, we could use the wheel in terms of, you know, talking about that sense of belonging, right? You know, why are they smoking in there, right? Is this impacting their independence? And also looking at the 7 grandfather teachings around truth, respect, and bravery, and how do those impact his life and the choices that he's making at that moment, right? So the youth are able to hold the wheel, move it around. It really gives them a hands-on and visual way to come up with the outcomes that they're trying to achieve. Another situation is, you know, that happens quite often when you have congregate living, when you have, you know, one person, you know, has their food there and someone else is eating it. So using this tool is a great way to be able to, you know, kind of bring those things to the forefront. You know, why is this happening, right? Is the person who ate the food, you know, do they not have money? Do they need support in going to the food bank? Do they need support in, you know, maybe budgeting a little bit differently, right? So we can be able to use the wheel and how it aligns in all of these areas and get those things out to the forefront, because our youth need to live a well-balanced life. So, you know, we're really focusing on their mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional well-being. And sometimes, you know, when they are looking at them, not realizing that some of those areas are not in balance, they're not in check. So utilizing this wheel as well to look at, you know, what do they have going on in their lives? You know, some of us might have, you know, a great handle on our physical aspect, but maybe not so much, and we're lacking a little bit in maybe that spiritual aspect. So utilizing this wheel can help determine that, help the youth understand that and bring those things out to the forefront. So at this point, the case management model tool is something that we use in Endaayaang. It isn't something that we have shared with other organizations or other groups, but definitely can be used by other people as long as they have that knowledge and understanding of the Circle of Courage, the 7 grandfather teachings, as well as the medicine wheel. It is a great way to be able to engage with youth. It has definitely you know, increased our ability to communicate with youth. And, you know, if you were looking for more information about the tool, we definitely could share information. But I would suggest just making sure that staff are aware that they've connected with their elder or knowledge keeper, and being able to, you know, really understand Indigenous culture, Indigenous way of being and knowing, and ensuring that they're doing this work in a good way. The Circle of Courage, there is a book out called Reclaiming Youth at Risk by Martin Brokenleg and Larry Brentro. So that is another great way to be able to learn more about the Circle of Courage and do some reading on it.